from near and far, dear friends of Bled Strategic Forum. 20 years ago, Slovenia launched this forum with a simple belief. Diplomacy must serve people and not power. That belief resonates even more urgently today. We gather in Bled in the midst of crisis, in the midst of wars, injustice and deep uncertainty, in what truly feels like a runaway world. Fear too often divides us or paralyzes us. And in such turbulent times, we need steady anchors. The rule of law, shared solidarity and moral conscience. Slovenia strives to be one of them. As a member of the European Union and as a member of NATO and the UN Security Council, Slovenia does not stand on the sidelines. We believe peace is built through diplomacy, justice through law, and security through cooperation. But how do we turn these principles into action? Let me present our 3 tests of commitment. The first is Ukraine. Russia's aggression in direct attack on Europe's peace and security. Slovenia and the European Union stand firmly with Ukraine, supporting its right to a free, sovereign and unified future. Peace cannot come at the cost of justice or territorial integrity. We reject outcome that rewards aggression. Together with our European and transatlantic partners, we will continue to provide long-term security, reconstruction support, and a clear path to European Union membership. Ukraine's future is Europe's future, and we will not turn away. Second is Gaza. The situation in Gaza and beyond. It is beyond our imagination. Every single day, because of relentless bombings and deliberate starvation, an entire classroom of children is lost. Day after day, the numbers grow. Life-saving humanitarian aid is deliberately blocked. While lives are extinguished before the world's eyes and entire families are erased. Slovenia recognized the state of Palestine because we believe peace demands justice, and a viable two-state solution is the only way forward. We acted, imposing an arms embargo on Israel, banning settlement imports, and declaring 2 extremist ministers persona non grata. We send emergency aid and continue to demand unimpeded humanitarian access. At the upcoming UN General Assembly in September, we will advocate for wider recognition of Palestine and a renewed push for peace. A ceasefire is urgent. Hostages must be released, and aid must flow. We are also considering joining South Africa's case before the International Court of Justice, because accountability cannot wait, and neither can justice. And while Gaza commands the world's attention, it is not the only humanitarian crisis. From Sudan to other regions torn by war and hunger, millions more are suffering, often in silence. Finally, we turn to the Western Balkans. Enlargement is not a failure. It is a geostrategic necessity. The region must pursue reforms that strengthen democracy, the rule of law and human rights, while the European Union must honor its commitments. We commend peaceful civic demonstrations, including in Serbia, as vital expressions of European aspiration. In Bosnia and Herzegovina, the strict enforcement of court rulings is essential to uphold the rule of law and ensure accountability. Investing in youth is essential to create opportunities that counter the lure of emigration. Slovenia remains committed to fostering dialogue and advancing future where the Western Balkans, alongside with Moldova, Ukraine, is fully integrated in Europe. Peace is no longer threatened only by bullets. It is also under attack from lies. Democracies cannot survive without truth. Yet today, disinformation, foreign interference, and the misuse of artificial intelligence are eroding our trust, distorting reality, and weakening democratic institutions from within. As a former journalist myself, I have seen how dangerous the collapse of shared truth can be. In this environment, we must urgently restore effective multilateralism, choosing cooperation over confrontation, reform over deadlock, and human dignity over manipulation. And peace must be inclusive. Women, so often the first to suffer in conflict, must also be the first to shape its resolution. Slovenia remains a committed champion of the women, peace and security agenda. So how do we, friends, resolve all these crises? First, we must unite Europe and our NATO allies behind the bolted principled global order. Second, we must restore effective multilateralism, a UN Security Council that acts decisively and not stalls. Third, we must uphold international law consistently without double standards. And fourth, we must choose truth over fear, justice over silence, and people over power. And as a foreign minister, I have seen the quiet strength of diplomacy, of building trust, seeking political solutions, and listening with intent. Even a small country can make a meaningful difference when it stands firmly for international law and acts with principles in times of crisis. Today, over 120 armed conflicts are raging around the world, while Europe faces economic uncertainty with projected growth of just 1.1% in 2025 and 0.9% in the euro area. And this volatile global landscape, Europe must rise not just as an economic actor, but also as a force for principle. And the EU may not be a traditional military power, but it possesses immense influence. The influence of values, diplomacy, law, and example. And that influence is strongest when rooted in unity, especially among neighbors. Slovenia's close cooperation with our neighbors, Italy, Austria, Croatia, and Hungary, all fellow EU members, shows how regional trust can strengthen Europe's global voice. And we must now use the influence more boldly to defend truth, support peace, and strengthen global cooperation. In a world that often seems to be spinning out of control, principled leadership matters. And Slovenia is proving that even a small country can lead, and with courage, with conscience, and a steadfast commitment to justice, human dignity, and international. And we will continue to do so, and I invite you all, today and tomorrow, to embrace our brainstorming activism of the Bled Strategic Forum and take an active role in shaping solutions that can make the world a fairer and a safer place. Thank you so much.